A very good morning, children. Welcome back to the English online class. Children, in today's class, we are going to start with a new poem from your first flight book. Poem number 6, and the name of the poem is Amanda, which is written by Robin Klin. Robin Klin, she is an Australian author who writes books for children. She writes children's and young adult fiction. Some of her famous books are Hating Ellison Ashley, People Might Hear You, etc. So that was all about the poet. Let us move towards the introduction of this poem. Let me give you the short introduction. Robin Klin has expressed the views of a little girl, Amanda, who is constantly pointed out by her mother for making mistakes. Mistakes which she considers so as they are not part of the code of good conduct laid out by the society in which we live. Now, children, I'm going to recite the poem and then tell you the word meaning, and after telling the word meaning I'll explain the poem to you stanza wise. So let us first move towards the first stanza. I'll read the poem, and children, please do listen it carefully. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So first let me tell you the difficult words and their meaning in this stanza. The first one is hunch, which means to bend. Second is slouching, which means sitting in a lazy way. Third is languid, which means relaxed. Fourth, emerald, that means, here it means green color. The next one is inhabitant, which means resident. The next one is drifting, and the meaning is carried slowly by the water. And the last one is blissfully, which means happily. So these are the hard words that you can find in this stanza. So now let us move towards the explanation of this stanza. The poet is describing Amanda, a little girl who is always pointed out by her mother for her mistakes, and how she imagines her life to be. The poet says that the mother is pointing out Amanda for biting nails, which is a bad habit. Next, she asks her to sit straight without bending her shoulders. Amanda, who has habit of bending her shoulders and sitting lazily, is being pointed out because her mother wants her to sit in the right posture. At this point of time, when she is being scolded by her mother, she imagines herself to be in a deep green sea. She says that she wants to be the only resident of this beautiful green sea. She imagines herself like a mermaid who is alone there and leads her life in a very relaxing way. She says that she wants to be carried away by the current of water and feel the relaxing environment there. So this was the explanation. Now, let us move towards the second stanza of this poem. Let me read it first. Listen it carefully. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. I'm an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. In this stanza, there are only two difficult words, and the meaning I'll tell it to you. The first one is orphan. Orphan, the meaning is a child whose parents are dead, means a child without parents. The second one is hushed, and the meaning is quiet and still place. Now, children, let us move towards the explanation of this stanza. Here the poet says that Amanda's mother is inquiring her about whether she has done her homework or not. Mostly it happens with you all also. And then she asks her whether she has cleaned her room or not. Moreover, she is also reminded to clean her shoes. So, here we can see that the mother is constantly asking her questions regarding her homework being done or not, or whether she has cleaned up her room and shoes or not. But on the other hand, while Amanda is listening to her mother's instruction, she imagines herself to be an orphan who is roaming in the street. She would have drawn designs on the soft dust with her uncovered feet very quietly. So we can see that she thinks opposite to her mother. Her mother wants her to keep everything neat and clean, but Amanda wants to play in dust with her bare feet. Moreover, she is so fed up of these constant instruction from her mother that she says silence is golden, which means that silence is very crucial and precious. She further says that freedom is sweet. This means she never feels free when she is with her mother. Now let us come to the third stanza. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? I'm Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. In this stanza, there are 4 difficult words. The first one is acne, which means pimples. Second is Rapunzel. Maybe you all have read a story of a girl in the fairy tale which was written by Brother Grimm. Third is tranquil, meaning is calm and quiet. Fourth one is rare, which means uncommon. In this stanza, the next Amanda's mother is disallowing her to eat chocolates. She reminds her of her pimples that Amanda faces due to eating chocolates. At last, she scolds her for not paying attention to what her mother says. At this moment, Amanda imagines herself to be Rapunzel. Rapunzel was a character from a fairy tale that was captured in tower by a witch. The witch used to climb the tower with the help of long hair of Rapunzel that were let down by her through the window. So now Amanda wants to be Rapunzel because she feels that life in the tower will be peaceful and unusual. She thinks she will be free and live in a peaceful environment in the tower. She also confirms to herself that she will never let her hair down to anyone, so that nobody could come to her in the tower. Now moving towards the next stanza. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So in this stanza, there are three difficult words. The first one is sulking, which means be in a bad mood. Second is moody, which means unstable. Third is nagged, which means harass. In this stanza, Amanda's mother now warns her for behaving in a very odd manner. She asks her to stop being in a bad mood. Moreover, she blames her of having such an unstable mood. She also scolds her by saying that her behavior will one day make people think that Amanda was constantly being harassed by her mother. So, here we can say that though Amanda is always pointed out by her mother on every small thing, but she can't react to this. If she reacts towards this by getting emotional, her mother takes this against her sense of pride and scolds her that she should not behave like this as others. As others would think that Amanda's mother is very dominating towards her child. So children, I hope that you can a bit correlate yourself to this poem or to the character Amanda. Maybe you are also sometimes scolded by your parents, but it is for your benefit that your parents are sometimes scolding you and telling you what to do and what not. It doesn't mean they are thinking bad towards you or they are always trying to scold you or correct you. They are always thinking good for you, so that is why they are always instructing and telling correct things to you. Now let us move towards the summary of the poem. The poem describes a girl named Amanda and her mother who is nagging her for her mistakes. She is first pointed out most probably by her mother for biting her nails and for not sitting in the right posture. The mother also feels that Amanda sits in a very lazy manner. To this, Amanda imagines herself as a mermaid who lives a calm and relaxing life in the beautiful green sea. Further, she is nagged for not cleaning her room and shoes, and also for not doing her homework. She then imagines herself to be an orphan because she is now fed up of being watched by her parents continuously. She says that she would have enjoyed her freedom then by making the patterns of her bare feet on the sand and would live a peaceful life. Next, Amanda is scolded for eating too many chocolates, as this causes pimples. She is also scolded for not listening to her mother. So now Amanda thinks of being Rapunzel, a character from a fairy tale, that and wants to live in a huge tower like her. In the tower, she will be alone and will live a peaceful life and will never allow anyone to come in. Finally, the mother asks her to stop being moody because she doesn't want anyone to blame her for harassing her daughter. At this time, the poet has not written any reaction from Amanda's side. This constant nagging has made her so sad that she has even stopped to imagine herself as someone else. She used to do so in order to escape from the continuous harassment and dominance of her parents. So basically in this poem, the dominance of parents is shown towards their children. The central idea of this poem: the greatest wealth that a child wants to possess in his or her life is his or her freedom. And the thing that he or she never likes is the constant nagging, unwanted instructions, and even overprotection of the parents. Amanda is the story of a young girl who is constantly controlled and instructed to do one thing or the other by her parents. Every child wants to enjoy the dreamy and romantic world of his or her childhood. She doesn't want to cut this romantic and fascinating world of hers short. Any kind of instruction or interference curtails her freedom. She doesn't want to be denied chocolate and wants to sit and behave exactly as she wants. She would rather indulge in fantasies than clean her room or her shoes. She wants to postpone growing up. She wants to remain a child for just little bit longer. So this was the central idea of the poem. Now let us see the main key points of the poem that you have to remember. The main key points are: every child feels that she or he is controlled and instructed not to do one thing or another. Children have certain habits. Next is their parents teach them to mend those habits. These are for their benefit. Children have these habits because they want freedom. They want to feel naturally at home. Amanda is a small girl and she has certain unwanted habits. She is politely asked to mend those habits, but she seems to live in her own world as she is moody. So children, these were the main key points of the poem. You can jot it down in your rough notebook so that it will help you understand the poem while reading. Children, I hope that you all must have enjoyed and as well as understood the poem, and I hope that many of you must have related yourself with the girl Amanda. Even I, as a child, used to be scolded by my parents for doing this and for doing that not properly. So this is what parents are always there to correct us so that we will become one day a better person. Thank you.